Yogurt's all gone again.
Yep.
Good morning, hello, good morning. Welcome once again to Dork Duck Daily, the show with all the news you nerd and where all of Selena's yogurt gets taken. We just had a big blow up over the weekend over the fact that one kid ate all of Selena's comfort go-to breakfast food and before bed food, which is she does a bowl of yogurt, tosses a couple M&Ms in it, right? Good morning, Shiki. And she's like, hey, can you start the show? I'm gonna have my yogurt right this morning. And we already had a big blow up this weekend because we came back from work on Saturday night and we went to work, went to the store to pick up staples to make sure we could make it through the weekend, right? And the constant Sisyphean task of just it drives me crazy. We end up at the store every day because we have a combination of the cats need things, and then it's we have a whole house full of neurodivergent people, and if we don't all have our special treats.
I have qualms, real quick.
You have qualms?
I know who did it.
Okay.
Because there's a trail of M&Ms leading downstairs. Fucking E.T. or some shit. What I want to know, though, is how they... I don't know when they did it. They ate my yogurt.
Yeah, I don't know
because
either.
The only bowl in the sink is a cereal bowl.
Yeah, so where's the bowl? Are all
Unless they ate it out of the carton.
Maybe they did eat out of the carton. That's maybe that's what happened. Anyway, we already had a blow up this weekend over this yogurt, which was a thing, and then I had to go back to the store to
my safe foods.
Mike says you gotta let the kids take a hit on this one. Yeah. I'm fine with that. It's all, we live in a house of teenagers. It's a constant state of just insanity. It's weirdly united all of us, including my ex-wife though too. Selena, my ex-wife, and I get along now in a way that no one would see coming, but it's because we're in this war against teenagers and the battle lines have been drawn. Snoopy says them damn kids. Yes. Yeah, so we bought 2 giant tubs of yogurt to be okay, everyone can have yogurt. And that was Sunday that we bought 2 giant tubs of yogurt. And today is Tuesday, and the yogurt is once again all gone. You gonna be okay? Sorry, there's no yogurt. But yeah. Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is Dork Duck Daily, the show with all the news you nerd. Extra trimmings. It is Am I the Asshole Day? So it's exciting. I will say, this week is Free Comic Day week for us. So, this show will likely not happen on Friday. Even though it normally does. Thursday will probably be our last show of the week. And we're not doing any video game streams this week. We didn't do Final Fantasy yesterday. And we won't be doing our co-stream Thursday night. Because this is our biggest week of the year as far as getting work done. Mike says more no-gurt.
Listen. Hold on. I'm not eating into the microphone.
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought.
1 second.
Yeah.
I like how you could just my hand. Maybe. Okay. I have been a step parent for 3 years now.
Yeah.
I've lived here for 3 years.
Thereabouts, something like that. Yeah.
No, it's been 3 years. It was 3 years in February.
Okay.
Which is wild to think about. Doesn't seem like it's been that long, and simultaneously felt like I've known you forever. But, anyway. As a step parent, I've slowly had to realize that if I want a snack, I have to pick a snack that the kids don't like. Because if I don't, I'm an asshole. And that doesn't mean like having my own favorite stuff makes me an asshole. But being the person that's like, no, you can't have that, I just feel like it's like a dagger to my heart every single time.
Or you hide it and just...
I can't hide yogurt, Jeff. Where am I going to hide yogurt?
Behind the vegetables.
Also, our youngest really likes yogurt. And, like, I'm totally fine with sharing yogurt. It's the, like, leaving 2 bites in the container, not saying anything, and then leaving a trail of M&Ms downstairs to where I'm just like...
Well, Dylan says that wasn't a mistaken trail of M&Ms. That was a message. Yeah, I ate it. Come at me, bro. Mike says the same thing happened to us this morning. We have normal bagels and half-calorie bagels, and the kids ate all the low-calorie ones. It's
like, I, as a step parent, have had to figure out ways to be able to still have my little treats.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like, it started where I was the only one who ate strawberry yogurt. They liked vanilla yogurt. They did not like strawberry yogurt. Then, slowly over time, the youngest likes strawberry yogurt now. And I'm like, cool, I just have to get double the yogurt, right? And then literally like 2 days later, suddenly our middle kid likes strawberry yogurt, even though they've never touched strawberry yogurt for the 3 years that I've been here.
It's forbidden fruit. Mike says they're assholes, man. They are. Kids are
I just don't
beautiful, wonderful, amazing.
I don't understand.
Assholes. You were doing the same thing when you were a teenager.
I wouldn't now, though.
Yeah, but you're not a teenager now.
Well, still. Also, nuh-uh. Because if
you almost set your grandparents' house on fire making bacon in the middle of the night.
That's different. I didn't eat the last of their special bacon, okay? I only almost burned the house down.
I'm sure that there was something you ate that they're just a lot nicer than us.
I'm not nice. You don't want to see me not nice. I think I'm pretty damn nice.
No, I'm just saying, if you ate something of your grandparents they were like, I have a feeling they would be like, I'm so happy you enjoyed that. They would probably not even like call attention to it.
I think the difference is that like,
more evens.
I would only eat like 3 things for most of my childhood, and that was hot dogs, Lay's potato chips, and chicken tenders or chicken fingers, chicken nuggets. Oh, and frozen pizzas. Like little tiny, specifically mine frozen pizzas.
I was thinking about this when I was talking through it with our 15-year-old, but there was like a solid year of my life that I ate nothing but Fruity Pebbles at McDonald's. It was like...
That's valid.
It was... I worked at McDonald's, and I slept till 2 every day. I'd wake up, I would eat my Fruity Pebbles, and I would just eat like 4 or 5 bowls. Like, I would just keep eating Fruity Pebbles. Then I would go to McDonald's, work my shift, and I would eat my like shift meal. I would eat food.
We should set our middle kid up with a job at McDonald's. I feel like that would work. Like,
I would eat after my shift was done at McDonald's, and then I would go to the grocery store. I would buy a box of Fruity Pebbles. I would go home. I would play video games till like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I would just keep eating Fruity Pebbles. And then I would sleep till 2, and that was my life for years.
So the thing that I'm trying to like convey both to our middle kid and possibly to you too, it's not that they enjoy the same snacks as me.
I'm fucking nice, Jeffrey.
I am. I'm very nice.
And obviously Midnight Bacon.
Yeah.
Stupid said for 2 years they ate Taco Bell because I worked at Taco Bell. Yeah.
I got my grandpa a dish towel that said I love you more than bacon. It's like a little, do you remember that time I almost lit the house on fire when I made bacon? And they love me so much that they're just like, aw, that's so sweet. But, no, what I'm trying to, like, convey is that, like, I don't care if we all share the same snack. It's the, like, not conveying that, like, I also like that snack. Could you get some of that snack, too? It's the, like, I'm gonna eat this snack and not say anything. And then, like, I caught them, like, I think they ate the last of my like gummy worms or something, and I was like, hey, did you eat my gummy worms? And they're like, I don't know. I was like, what? Either you did or you didn't. What do you mean? They're like, I don't know. Actually, yeah, I did. I don't know why I said I don't know. Like, what? Bro.
Vince said my girls wish they could eat Fruity Pebbles, red dye allergy, but they just discovered Cocoa Pebbles recently and are obsessed.
Our youngest is currently eating Cocoa Pebbles. And, like, that is her cereal. And I like Cocoa Pebbles, but I'm like, I'm going to wait till we have another box in the house because there's not enough left for me to have some. and her and I are very similar, and if I ate her Cocoa Pebbles, I think she would have the same reaction that I'm having right now.
Also, like you and her are very similar in that it's like if someone ate her Cocoa Pebbles, this whole house would shut down while there was a trial and possibly execution.
Yes.
over the
I mean, she was coming to my defense about the gummy worms.
She was.
Yeah, honestly, if I ever need anything, that kid has my back 100%. But like,
yeah, because Dylan says eat that shit and show them how it feels. That's not the kid that's causing the
it's
issues.
The middle
that
one.
Kid gets that, and also has like these are the foods that I eat.
We have a system.
Yeah.
Her and I, where like if we like the same food, we just get more of it. It's the middle kid is the one that it's like there's no communication, so then one of us goes to get like a snacky snack, and then
oh, never mind, don't fuck with your rider.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's well, the thing is, the kid that is the most like me is the one causing the issues because just hit these things and it's like I will just eat this, and it's just there's no breaks.
Issues before where you've eaten the last of my snacks, and I've been like, Jeff, did you eat this? And you're like, oh yeah, I guess I did. So like, yeah, it's interesting.
This is refined. This is 38 years of improvement.
I guess you know what? Just being outright out the gate, just being like, oh yeah, I guess I did. Like, makes it a lot easier than, I don't know. I don't know if I ate your gummy worms.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or leaving a trail of M&Ms downstairs.
All the way down, yeah.
Or
refined sugar, exactly.
Being like, oh my god, the thing that got me the most was the like with the yogurt. It's like I only had like a bowl of yogurt, and then they went and got the bowl. And like, to be fair, if you fill the bowl like a third of the way up, like I do when I eat yogurt, yeah, you're eating like a third of a bowl of yogurt, whatever. Those bowls can fit like a half carton of yogurt in them, though. Yeah. So like that proved nothing. It was like. And she came in with the bowl. She's like, look at the bowl. I'm like, I know what the bowl looks like. I was the one who bought it. Like, duh. I'm gonna go get dressed.
Yeah. I will wait to do the
Oh, you're gonna do the Jell-O shot?
I'll wait to do the Jell-O shots till you're done and dressed.
I'm gonna wait to do the Jell-O shots till you're done and dressed.
I will wait to do the Jell-O shot story till you are back around.
Jeff isn't doing Jell-O shots. It's a story about Jell-O shots.
Yeah, precisely.
Just to clarify that we're not doing Jell-O shots at 9:30 in the morning. But like, honestly, if we started doing that, I think I'd be a lot more chill about my yogurt being eaten.
Now you know why all those women had those like day drinking martinis and like everything else. We don't just cover food faux pas on this show. We also cover all the newsy nerd in a segment we like to call the Daily Quack. All right. A context list that was wild. Sorry. Yeah, there's a story we will cover later. I told Selena we'd wait till she's here about a woman bringing Jell-O shots to a 5th grade classroom party. So we have that to look forward to. But first, before we get there, Diamond bankruptcy. Everyone's favorite thing to talk about. That has basically been the subject of conversation for the last 4 to 5 months, and greatly affects me and not a lot of other people. Dylan says, my daughter is a female clone of me. I once made her mad, so she waited until I went to bed and ate my cottage cheese with my spoon and left it in my spot. Passive aggressive as shit, but you gotta respect it. That's amazing. That, to frame you perfectly, to put you in the spot, you're like, did I eat this? I respect that move so much. This, by the way, is from Heidi McDonald over at Comics Beat, who says, incredibly, there's been yet another massive shock in the Diamond bankruptcy case. This, by the way, is just shock number 1 of 2. This is the 2-parter. And if you don't know what Diamond is, up until... I'll try to be as brief as possible because we've covered this a lot. But up until 2020, for 30 years, every comic book you ever saw in America came by way of Diamond Comics. They had a complete monopoly on the market. I and everyone else had a Diamond account. It was just kind of, that's how we sold comic books. And then that's changed over the last 5 years, and now there's other distributors and everything else, and now there was still, at the start of all this bankruptcy stuff, there were still a lot of comic books that the only way you could get them was through Diamond. There was no other option. And that's become less and less true as these months have waned on. In fact, it's only true of one company now at this point. Vince says, oh man, I gotta catch a new hire up to speed on the comic market. He last worked with comics a decade ago. Yeah, it's fucking insane right now. So incredibly, there has been yet another massive shock in the Diamond bankruptcy case. Today, Matthew W. Cheney, acting United States trustee for Region 4, which includes the Baltimore division, filed a motion to convert the Chapter 11 filing to a Chapter 7 filing or dismiss the case entirely. The cause, Diamond has not filed any monthly operating reports since the case began. Monthly operating reports for January, February, and March are now outstanding and overdue. This gives Cheney, the trustee overseeing the case, cause for changing the nature of the case. I'm told that in legal terms, this filing was a holy fuck moment. The best case scenario is that it's a warning shot from the court officials who want Diamond to get moving on resolving this and setting up payment terms for their 1,000+ creditors. As for this weekend, Diamond was waiting to announce their excited new buyers. The court is waiting too. Worst case, either converting the case to Chapter 7 or dismissal would be bad news to those creditors and potentially even worse news for Steve Jeppy. That's the dude who owns Diamond. Chapter 7 filing is a final death for a company. Trustees would sell off all the assets under less favorable terms, stripping for parts, and creditors would get less money in settlements. A dismissal is even worse for everyone, but especially Diamond and its owner and board of directors. It would remove all bankruptcy protections from them, and creditors would be able to sue directly. As we've noted several times, Diamond founder Steve Jeppy still owns several companies not involved in the bankruptcy, and even used them as collateral for the loan for Chase, which kept the company operating. A dismissal would leave him and his remaining assets far more exposed to debt collection procedures. This filing seems to have thrown yet another level of turmoil into this whole matter. To this observer, it's also surprising given the level of detail in the process filings. I've covered several bankruptcies over the years, and even been a creditor in one, and I've never seen so much paperwork. Of course, with millions of dollars involved, a high level of detail is not that surprising. What is surprising, given that level of detail and well over $1 million spent for lawyers, Raymond James and other consultants involved in the process, monthly operating reports were not filed. I and everyone else covering this case have been on the lookout for such filings but never saw them. Thanks to Matthew Cheney, we now know that not only are such filings missing, they are a gravely important matter to the whole proceeding. Hopefully this is just a procedural matter and we have more clarity on this soon. This is what then takes it to the part 2. Good morning, Sam. The part 2 is this is over at Graphic Policy is a website who says Diamond 11's process has been filled with twists and turns. Originally, Alliance won the bid for Diamond in the bankruptcy process. Diamond then said it wanted to go with the second best joint bid by the Universal Distribution and Ad Populum. Then Alliance threatened to sue. Then Alliance won the final approval. Then, in a shocking twist, Alliance said it was not going through with the bid. We speculated as to why this was the case, and now we know why. Alliance is accusing and suing Diamond of fraud and deception as far as their relationship with Wizards of the Coast, the company behind Magic the Gathering. Wizards did not continue its distribution agreement past December 2024 and didn't inform Alliance. They actually attempted to obfuscate it and keep it from Alliance during the deal. Alliance Entertainment has submitted the complaint to the court. I'm not going to read all of this. Look at... There's so much. There is so much. Debt to debt to debt. It's all there if anyone wants to read it, though. In the filing, Alliance has stated this is why they terminated the purchase after Diamond refused to lower its purchase price. There's 5 specific complaints within the motion against Diamond, and it's represented in the process. So, I'm not a lawyer. That does seem, though, like they were landing into like a fucking weird golden parachute situation. And then they were fucking it up by saying like, actually Alliance shouldn't win it, but Alliance was out there publicly saying specifically that the reason that they wanted it had nothing to do with comics. And they wanted it specifically for these retail relationships where they could further sell like Wizard of the Coast products and those kind of things, which is what Alliance carries. And so Diamond, to my best guess here, it seems Diamond realized they were getting millions and millions of dollars, but it was to sell Alliance something they basically already had. Hi. Because all of those people had basically switched over to them or someone else. So Diamond tried being like, actually, we should go with the second bidder. And that would also probably mean why they haven't submitted their reports, because if they admitted to how bad things were, it would mess up the sale.
Okay.
Vince says, I really hope the game stores that went through Diamond's Alliance distributors for the Final Fantasy set. I feel bad for LGS that gets screwed by that. So were there stores that ordered the Final Fantasy set and just didn't get it? Mike says that's what AI summarizes for. Yeah, I'll just dump all that into ChatGPT and it'll be like, I don't know. Here's a studio. Studio Ghibli it though. And it'll be like, all right, that's still a bunch of legalese gobbledygook. You're wearing your bluey shirt.
I am wearing my bluey shirt.
It's cute.
Pancake is eating my crochet hat right now. You see her?
Yes. Your cat is eating your crocheted hat.
Girl, I don't think that's good for your belly.
So that's Diamond nonsense. We've switched off of them completely at this point. So we're not super affected. It sucks because the one company we're waiting to hear from is Dynamite. They're the only company that hasn't like officially switched off, and it. I think that they were hoping that there would be some continuance of Diamond, that they could hang on, and it really did kind of seem that way. They were able to build up another house of cards that collapsed just as quickly with all this. Vince says stores select their main distributor for pre-release, etc., and if they chose this distributor and Final Fantasy is the first set they don't sell, man. Wait, what about Titan? Titan's already moved. Titan moved to, I think, Lunar. I forget where Titan moved to, but Titan moved. It's literally just Dynamite at this point. Mike says, I was just trying to ask Google where the studio that made Fragpunk was, and it answered Thornton, which is a small village near where I live. eat. Unless that's completely false information, and then not eat. Oh crap, have I been misordering dirt? You can get it just like it. I think yesterday was like the first FOC that had like Titan on it. I think, or like a week or two ago. It's very recent.
What are you doing?
Okay. What am I doing with my life? Okay, are you ready for the Texas mother?
Accidentally poisoning small children with alcohol?
Yes.
I thought it was like she brought it for the teachers, not that the kids, not that the kids drank it. That's messed up. I'll be right back. I just grab my glasses. But ready and raring to go.
Okay. Good morning, Sam. Hello. Welcome to Tuesday. We're gonna talk about a Texas mother bringing Jell-O shots to school. I guess first we're gonna. Are we ready?
Yeah. I said I'd be right back. I need to grab a glasses cleaner.
Texas mother arrested after bringing Jell-O shots to 5th grade classroom party. This is from Marlene Langthing over at NBC News, who says a Texas mother who officials say took alcoholic Jell-O shots to her child's elementary school Christmas party has been arrested. Teresa Isabel Bernal, who's 33, was charged with injury to a child in connection to a party December 20th at Jones Elementary School in Tyler, Texas. Bernal purchased Jell-O shots from a home business she found on Facebook, according to the arrest affidavit. The shots were laid out on a table along with treats students had brought to share in the cafeteria where 5th grade classes gathered, officials said. This is the thing. I always get so mad when like schools are like, yeah, no homemade snacks across the board, just no homemade snacks. Like you can do things, but you can do like, because it's never me making the snacks. I don't put in that kind of effort, but it always would be like one of the kids' grandmas or something.
Yeah.
Would be like, well, I make cupcakes, and like, I'm like, you can't bring those to school. I'm sorry. They have rules against
be a
it.
thing that's recent because my grandma made cupcakes all the time for school.
Right, and it's like it used to always consistently, and it's like I always would get mad at the school for being assholes about it. But then you read stories like this, and you're like,
oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't make sense. You shouldn't be this much of an idiot, but people are this level of idiots out there. Shiki said, "Well, while Lena is gone, I would like to tell you about the time I went to a family party and they made Jell-O shots and they made us imitation Jell-O shots, except they looked exactly the same. And me and the kid of the host parents got the Jell-O from the wrong fridge and we drank." That's amazing. Mike says a Texas hero that should read. Dylan says poisoning is a harsh word. I would just say that she was encouraging nap time.
Yes.
Mike says, OMG, how good is Bluey, by the way? Bluey is amazing.
It's very good.
It's an incredible show. It all started with Vince. I was over and Vince was like, you have to watch this show. And I was like, what? No, I don't have kids that are that small. It's fine. He's like, you don't get it. This show is amazing. And I was like, what? And about the 100th person who had small kids that told me that. And then it started to trickle out of like people that didn't have kids at all. Like, no, that show's great. And I was like, fine, we'll watch fucking Bluey. I was like, oh my God, the show's
very good.
Amazing.
It's my show that I put on whenever I don't like feel good or like if I'm like having a rough day. I'm like, I just want to watch Bluey.
Yeah.
That's it.
Solid. It's not for kids. Yeah, no, it's a great show. Shiki says, but realistically, poisoning is the right word. Probably.
Yeah.
Bernal purchased the Jell-O shots from a home business she found on Facebook, according to the arrest affidavit. The shots were laid out on the table with treats. So you have like Rice Krispie treats,
cuppy
cakes, chocolate chip cookies, and some Jell-O shots.
Yeah,
just all there. Know. 15 students consumed the shots, and nearly all reported having stomach aches and headaches, the affidavit said. Now, also, it's a group of elementary kids. Even if you don't, you're gonna be like, yeah, I had a crazy. The information here is gonna be a little
skewed because they want to be like, yeah,
I was so messed up.
It's like, bro, you're 10, chill.
One student told police he vomited twice at the school that day, and another student said he passed out at school after consuming the Jell-O shot, according to the affidavit. One student reported that he had 6 Jell-O shots and got dizzy. When he returned to the classroom, he got dizzy and fell and felt like he couldn't get back on his feet.
I have to break up a fight. Mike
says Bluey's made him tear up a few times, cried like a baby watching The Sign because we were moving house at the same time. Oh man, that would fucking wreck me too.
Yeah, you're a good boy. You don't fight with no one, huh? He's like, yeah, I am.
Dylan said, I would wreck some 5th graders in Pong. We need to ramp up these classroom parties. When questioned by a Tyler Independent School District police officer, Bernal said she did not know the shots contained alcohol, but conceded they do taste different.
So she bought them from like a home business?
Like a Facebook marketplace.
She probably didn't know. Or if she did know, that would be the story I gave the cops. Like, oh, I didn't know.
That's the story she gave the cops, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that you would know it. I don't know that you would knowingly like be like, I'm gonna get these kids fucked up. Like that's weird.
That is weird.
I think if anything, she maybe bought regular and not, and then like mixed them up in the fridge or something.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I can't really like follow that line of thought because I would never want to bring Jell-O shots to. I don't even want like fake Jell-O shots at like. Just get a spoon and eat it like a normal person.
You're not into Jell-O shots?
No, I got Jell-O shots for my 21st birthday, and I was like, "What are you supposed to do with this?"
You eat it.
I know, but like, maybe I just have a tiny head or something, or a tiny mouth. But like, okay, so I need something that looks like a Jell-O shot. Whatever, it's good enough. My Adderall lid. Okay, so this is a Jell-O shot. Mm-hmm. They're usually bigger though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like trying to like get the Jell-O in my mouth, and it's not working.
No, I've seen you taking an actual shot.
Yeah, I know. And you'd think that like the Jell-O of it all would make it easier to go down, but that makes it difficult. Actually,
not to get too crass. It is one of the things that scientifically I've never been able to understand about you. Your inability to take shots and be like, I don't know, it's just so much compared with other things. Like, like
I was listening very intently. I was like, scientific, what?
The math does not math. I don't understand, and I've never been able to.
Because, whatever.
I love you, though.
I think it's a stupid thing that Jell-O shots aren't just smaller.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
It's just messy. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's it.
Mike said, I was at a festival last year and a Jell-O shot genuinely saved me that day. I need context. Sam said, I would like to add there are a whole lot of people in the South that think drinking around kids and letting kids drink is entirely fine. I feel like it's kind of a stretch to assume she also brought a second batch of non-alcoholic. Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. If anything, she thought she was buying non-alcoholic and just didn't communicate it well. That could be.
That's interesting though. When I was like a kid, my grandma used to let me like take little tiny sips from like a daiquiri or whatever. Yeah. We actually got in trouble at a restaurant once because like she got like a frozen daiquiri, and like that taco place that we go to. Yeah. She got a frozen daiquiri from there. And I was like, can I have a sip? And she's like, yeah, as long as you don't like take a huge gulp. And I was like, okay, because it looked like a slushie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. And I took a sip and it tasted fine. ish. But then the waitress was like, you can't do that. Like, she walked by, she's like, you can't do that. It was just like, yeah, you can't do that. But, like, also, I
mean, you can do that in your home. I think once
a little sippy sip. I was, like, 8, bro.
I think once you're, like, out at a restaurant at that point, like...
Or 10. I don't remember.
I did that with my kids, though, of just, like...
I had, like, a sip of a beer when I was little, too, and, like, it just... Alcohol taste never really, like, appealed to me, both as a child and as an adult, so...
That's part of why you let your kid have a sip.
Because you're like, that's gross. Now you don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, solid.
All right. One student reported 6 Jell-O shots, and we did that. Said they do taste different. Bernal did not immediately respond to a message left on a phone number listed under her name. A teacher told police that 2 other teachers tried the shots and said they believed the shots contained alcohol. I love that, like, Mrs. Wharton is like, I think this is alcohol.
I think this is
and
alcohol.
They're like, get Mrs. Chelsea. She'll know. So they go down.
She's the expert in Jell-O shots.
And then they do a taste, and then they're like, "Oh my god, this is a Jell-O shot." Yeah. Then said, "My dad gave me my first drink of beer and laughed when I spit it out, all grossed out. At a young age of 6 to 8. Then had me at a hayride, fall parties, and let me drink, but it was with some monitoring. Was it good parenting? I don't know. Alcohol was never a big deal to me. That's why I think it's probably good parenting. I think growing up around it and like being like, not being like, hey, get sloshed here every day. It's such a fine line. We were saying this the other day. The fine line between good parenting and bad parenting is so nuanced. And
it's like your kids are gonna drink when they're older. You want them to have a safe space to drink, but you don't want to push them into it,
and you don't want to be the quote unquote cool parent.
No, you don't. As someone who has had a quote unquote cool parent that I didn't live with, but when I would hang out was the cool parent. It's like, nar.
No, you don't want that. And it's crazy because it's like so many times, like it's so nuanced, and it'd be like, people throw out the whole baby with bathwater. They'll be like, well, letting your kids have a sip at all, that's bad. And it's like, no, it's like, that can be really good parenting. It's all about the context, the nuance, the like, what's around it. Like, how much are you letting them drink? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Snoopy says learning to drink alcohol is important. Yeah, and like learning
your limits.
Right. Dylan says, maybe I downed the shot, but didn't immediately yell woo, so maybe this is a small amount of alcohol. Hayride party was adolescence, for the record. Yeah. I don't know. I grew up not around alcohol at all, and then when I turned 18, it was a problem. And we're all just bringing our own context to it, right? So it's like, I'm sure there's people that grow up around it, and like...
I didn't grow up around it, but I was given it, so like,
yeah,
I guess I grew up around it, if that's the case. But I don't think that me drinking at 15 was correlated with the fact that I was allowed to try a sip of a daiquiri at a restaurant once. Like, I don't think that was the ball that like started rolling.
Yeah,
I think there was other factors. And again, like, I did my drinking as a teenager, and then when I was an adult, I was like, no thank you, I just don't like this. It's like, I don't like any kind of inebriation really now.
Yeah,
as an almost 30-year-old, I'm like, I like to be sober and aware of my surroundings because I'm already on edge, and like when I'm drunk or high,
we've also put a lot of work into making our environment and our life something we enjoy on a day-to-day basis, which is like, it's taken a lot of work to get there for both of us.
Yeah, but like even when I'm depressed or like sad or stressed or whatever, I guess sometimes I'm like, I should probably smoke some weed or something to just mellow out. But like, I'm not like, I have to have a drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's never my like, I need to calm down kind of.
Dylan says to this day, I can't drink whiskey because my dad let me try a sip at 13 and I thought I was dying. Snoopy says I didn't know what liquor was until I chugged a half bottle of Jim Beam. I was 16. I hear a lot of people that have that story of just like they were like 16, 17, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to go ham on this.
I drank absinthe out of a water bottle.
Yeah, I didn't drink it all until I was 18. So I expected our first conversational alcohol to be like, yeah, I had some wine coolers or something. You're like, I was drinking absinthe. It's like, what the fuck?
First drink I ever had was I stole rum out of my grandparents' freezer. Well, like drink as in like not a little sippy sip, like probably like a couple shots out of my grandparents' freezer. And then when I was like 15 and my ex-boyfriend came back from Germany, he brought like a bunch of absinthe, and he was very interested in like how the Germans would consume absinthe. And as a teenager, I was like, yes, me too, I also care about this, whatever. And like I guess they put like a little sugar cube on top of this weird little spoon, and then they like let the sugar like
sounds like fucking heroin.
It does. Yeah. It does. And apparently absinthe has stuff in it that like makes you more fucked up than like the average drinky poo.
Yeah.
Which is insane that a grown man would be like, here you go,
child. Let's
yeah,
get
like
you
literal
more,
fucking child. And I remember just being so like, it wasn't even like a hangover, because a hangover is usually the next day. It was like I was drunk and I was having a good time, I guess,
quote unquote, and
then I like threw up all over myself in a bathtub. And then I went to the park because we were going to go get chicken fingers, because he thought that would help. He was like, food. Give her some food. She'll stop throwing up if I give her food. What? This
Sam says the more I hear about this man, the more I want to beat the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to my club, Sam.
It's so
it's a constant,
insane.
And every layer you hear, you're like, there's another fucking layer. Like,
it's so crazy because, like, and, like, I'm not out here giving minors alcohol, you know, and I'm not, like, I would never want to do that, and I would never have the kind of, like, but his just absolute lack of, like, care and logic in that situation. I'm going to take the minor 15-year-old that I gave absinthe to out in public and take them to a restaurant and get them chicken fingers. Like, he had no fucks. Like, 0 fucks were given that day. I did get chicken fingers, though, and I threw up at the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shiki says, genuinely the worst fucking onion in the entire world. Unlimited layers of bullshit.
Oh, yeah. I want to write a book, but, like, I'm so bad at gathering all of my, like, thoughts about it.
We can help you write a book.
Yeah, maybe.
That
way the layers can be organized.
Dylan said, I started with Smirnoff Ices, watermelon, you know, the hard shit.
Watermelon Smirnoff Ice is good.
That definitely, like, just that sentence makes me feel 18. Like drinking a Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah.
Snoopy said about his adventures of keg stands and all that Jim Beam. I projectile vomited for a solid hour. I had some good people taking care of me at that point. I'm glad you had people around. Mike said, I bet those chicken fingers tasted so good.
They really did, though. There were some bomb-ass chicken fingers.
Shiki says, you do know at least 2 published authors. 3.
This is true.
He didn't know a lot. Snoopy said, the people I was with are people I worked with. They were good with the cake stands. When I grabbed and chugged the Jim Beam, they were immediately like, oh shit, that's not good. You shouldn't have done that.
It's always fun when you're at a party and someone's like, you shouldn't have done that. It's like, oh, no.
My favorite is when someone the next day is like, who let me do that? Like, you're a grown-ass man. What the fuck?
I do that all the time. When we used to go to the nightclub every Monday, the next morning I'd be like, why did you let me drink so much? You're like, you're 25, 26, whatever, bro. Like, what am I going to do? Put a little kid backpack on you and be like, no, you can't go back to the bar.
I did start just like hiding your drinks at the nightclub.
Or drinking them. Or giving them to other people. You did that at a concert once.
Yes.
Because I was... I was going through some things of like, we went to a concert with some friends and they were like a couple years younger than us, but most of the people at the concert were like 10 years younger than me. And I was just like, oh God, I feel slightly old. And then I started drinking, and then I drank way too much. And I remember we were like up front at the front of the stage. I somehow made it up front. I don't know.
Yeah.
And my friend was there, and I remember hearing Jeff be like, here you go, drink this. She doesn't need any more. And I was just so preoccupied with the concert that I was like, I don't care. But then later I was like, hey, I don't have a drink anymore. It's a Long Island.
Tom says, yeah, Lena, you grown-ass man. Shiki said, my dad gave me a sip of his Budweiser when I was 4. I spit it in his face. That's a good move. It's solid.
Yeah.
She said, I mean, to be fair, you could put a backpack on Lena and just grab the little loop at the top.
You could just be like, no. You've had enough.
Sue said, I would have chugged more, I bet, but one guy saw me doing it and snatched the bottle. That's a good person. And was like, you're going to go sit down right now. Mike says, I did notice a huge difference in drinking culture when my 2 friends came over from America. Yeah, it's because I think part of it is like, yeah, it's the Toro, like with the bull with the red thing where it's like, instead of just growing up around it and it's a thing that you participate in and you have like while you're young, someone going like, okay, this is what a relationship with alcohol that's healthy looks like. Instead, it's just taught like, you can't touch this, you can't touch this, you get to go.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it's crazy. Either Americans can't drink or British people are just animals. Both can be true. I say that affectionately. It's also different parts of America are different too. Like, we live in a whole swath of culture that drinks a lot more than other parts of the country. And to the tune that like we had laws where you could still like drink and drive up through the 90s. Like, and I don't mean like drink and then drive. I mean like drive with a beer and then and they fought hard to keep those. And they literally were like, hey, we're not going to fund any of your schools if you guys
don't knock it off.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Bug was still in here. And he was laying over there just like dead asleep. Yeah. He's a comfy boy.
Yeah, he likes being in the same room as you. The party took place just before the holiday break, and the investigating officer interviewed teachers when they returned to work January 6th. During the interviews, I was told, while some of the teachers found it odd that Bernal would bring Jell-O shots to an elementary school party, they were trusting Bernal to not bring anything harmful to the school party. Bernal was an involved parent and was present at many functions at the school, the file said. The Facebook Sweets business Bernal had purchased the shots from had a clear disclaimer on its website stating that the shots were made with Smirnoff vodka, the affidavit said.
So she didn't make a mistake. It's just weird if she was like an active parent to then just suddenly be like, woo, Jell-O shots at a school party. Like, that just seems like it'd be one thing if they were like, oh, I don't know. It's just,
what if I posit this scenario?
What?
She or her husband or whoever buys the Jell-O shots.
Sure.
They're in the fridge.
Yeah.
School party comes up.
Yeah.
Fuck, I never made the thing for the school party. Looks in the fridge, there's a bunch of Jell-O, grabs the Jell-O.
Jell-O or Jell-O shots, though? Like,
they're Jell-O shots, but she just sees like a tray full of Jell-O.
No, that's not. I don't think that's even like there's a difference between Jell-O and Jell-O shots. Like, visually, in my opinion.
Depends how well it was made. If it was made in, like, a thing that it looked like just a bunch of Jell-O. Like, we have a bunch of Jell-O in our fridge right now because...
Yeah, like, little packages that were pre-packaged. I'm talking, like, if this person... I'd have to know what the business's Jell-O shots looked like. But if they just look like the little cups of Jell-O shots, those are clearly Jell-O shots. I've never seen a Jell-O shot that doesn't look like a Jell-O shot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm imagining it must have looked... everyone to just, for it to get as far as it did, they had to look like Jell-O.
Unless the teachers thought that they made individual Jell-O cups because it's a school party and you can't just bring. I mean, you could, but it's like more common to bring little cups of things for a school party.
Mike says that sounds so relaxing. To be fair, just a chill drive with a beer. I mean, honestly, yeah. I'm so angry that people that abuse that means that we can't do that, because it was
hard disagree.
It would be nice to just be like, hey, it's a
I don't want to be any level of inebriated behind a wheel. And as that's somebody who used to smoke weed and then drive, like, no, thank you.
Dylan says, I feel like this was a mistake. Now, if the article started with Florida woman. Yeah, Florida woman knows how to party. Florida woman would take absinthe shots.
I wonder, can you make Jell-O shots with absinthe?
I don't know.
Well, because it's it's such a different composition.
I've never participated in absinthe. I'm not as cool as you.
Well, get on my fucking level, I guess. I don't know.
In my opinion, there's no way that Bernal could have missed the fact that the Jell-O shot she purchased and brought to her daughter's 5th grade Christmas party contained drinking alcohol, the officer wrote in the affidavit.
Wait, what did it say? Sorry.
In my opinion, there's no way that Bernal could have missed the fact that the Jell-O shots she purchased and brought to her daughter's 5th grade Christmas party contained drinking alcohol, the officer wrote in the affidavit. Testing of the shots also indicated the shots did contain ethanol. Bernal was arrested and booked into the Smith County Jail on Monday and posted a $75,000 bond the same day. It's not immediately clear if she's retained an attorney. The Tyler Independent School District said it was aware of Bernal's arrest. At the time, a parent volunteer brought homemade Jell-O to the celebration, which was later found to contain alcohol. Unfortunately, some students consumed the Jell-O before the situation was discovered. Staff acted immediately to address the situation, informing parents and working with law enforcement, the district said. The district said Bernal has not been allowed back to campus. We take this matter very seriously and remain committed to the safety and well-being of the students.
I was just trying to figure out what makes somebody snap someday like that. Or was it always like something that she was capable of? Why this specific Christmas party?
There's no way to me that this wasn't negligence. It has to be some sort of,
I guess,
oversight.
How
mistake.
Do you not see? Maybe if you have one set of Jell-O in your, like you were saying, one set of Jell-O in your fridge, but how would you not know to label those? You know.
I don't know. Or maybe you have another kid who's underage who bought them under your name, and then you're covering for that kid too or something. I don't know.
I think you're getting too far into.
No, I'm just saying that it's writer brain. I can come up with 1,000 scenarios of how this would happen.
I'm just so I overthink everything, so this would not happen on my watch ever. So I guess
Mike says she can afford $75,000 for bail, and she's only bringing cups of Jell-O, cheap ass. Well, you only have to post 1% of that. So the way bail works in this country, at least, is so it's a $75,000 bail, and then
so $750.
You have to give the court $750.
Jesus, that's still a lot of money.
Still a lot of money. And then if you don't show up to your court date, you then owe the state $700 or the full $75,000.
It's crazy.
And whoever bails you out owes it. So it's
what? Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yeah, So if you don't show up to your shit, then that person's on the hook for that money.
Oh my god. That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah. So see, the bail is basically here, you're giving us a deposit.
And you better trust that person.
Yeah. You're saying that you're giving a deposit and saying, I will make sure that this person is back for this court date and things.
Oh, that's crazy.
The upside is that person then doesn't have to wait in jail for the court date. to come up. But
yeah, I knew that part.
And
I just didn't know that the person who did the bailing of the person would be financially responsible for the rest of it if they didn't show up.
Sam says it's also very predatory with bond loans. Yes, there are loans that people be like, I'll bail you out, but then you owe me this much. Yeah.
Like, wow, that's crazy. I did not know that.
Dylan said, unfortunately, some students ingested the Jell-O before the mistake was discovered and had like a really good time. One student, Chad, was quoted as saying, "Best fucking Christmas party ever, bitch." That's the thing. I mean, this could have been 10 times worse, but the kids are all okay. They will have a story to tell for the rest of their lives.
It's good they're okay.
And we will forever conjecture about why this happened and what the actual structure of it. It's amazing. It's an amazing mistake. It's the kind of thing that you would like. This is the kind of article that feels like it would be attached to like some show we were watching through.
Yeah.
Like this feels like an episode of a TV show, and then it'd be like, oh my god, someone wrote a fake article.
Yeah.
Writing about like that event and how it would be reported in the news.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking does happen in the bear.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh my god.
They accidentally laced the
That's so much worse though. They accidentally laced the Kool-Aid or whatever, the punch.
Yeah.
With like the Valium.
No, it's Xanax.
Xanax? Oh my god.
The dad's like, you know what, I'm into it because the kids are all just sleeping.
Yeah. And what's his face is asleep too. The one girl's husband.
Yep.
Who nobody likes, but I love him. I think he's great.
Speaking of that, I watched the second Black Mirror. That's all we got through was 1 and 2. Because Selena said no thank you after that. And so I need to watch the rest on my own.
What was 2?
2 was the one with the person with the ability to change reality.
Oh, okay. That one was so triggering. I don't even want to talk about it.
So the cool thing about that one, Sam, is the first half of that episode is different for everybody. So as things change
I'm not trying. I'm literally clearing my throat.
As things change in that episode, and then you go back to like verify it, it literally like swaps which version of the episode you're getting. And then different people on the internet have seen different versions of that. Sam said Netflix gaslighting us during the Gaslight episode. Shake my head. Yeah, but it's amazing. I fucking love that they did that. It's so cool. You eating cotton candy?
Yep.
In a bluey shirt?
I just have like a container of it right in my desk.
You live a pretty good life. The Barney's Bernie's thing, yes, that's different face for everybody. Mike says, I love the bear. I went out and bought a load of White Plain t-shirts after watching that. And then I fought a bear. You fought a bear?
That's impressive.
The episode is so good. The first one was so good, but so sad. And I've not watched any past those two. I need to just watch it on my own. Or I will just be like, Selena, we're watching this. Which happens sometimes.
I've had enough buffer time. It's just the back-to-back.
Sam says, what makes it different? Do people just see a different hat at the start? Yes. And if you go to rewind your version, Netflix auto switches it. So if you rewind your version, it like handshakes halfway. At the point that it makes the switch, it handshakes.
Crazy.
So that even you will be gaslit if you rewind it.
Thank you. As someone who's gaslit for like 13 years... I don't like that.
It's just really...
I don't like it.
Mike says, it isn't different, Sam. You're just being crazy. It's so cool. She says, I will ban you, Justin Michael Playson. That's amazing. I love that nickname. It's an interesting storytelling concept, yeah. Well, and if things are going to exist on streaming, they should do more stuff that, again, like, do things in the medium that can only be done in that medium.
There's not anything that involves gaslighting.
Sam says, but imagine this kind of tech being used to retroactively change news or shit like that. Yep. There's a whole, the Bernstein thing?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're practicing gaslighting?
No,
right
I'm just not engaging.
Oh, okay.
I don't like that stuff. It scares me.
So, the Bernstein thing, which, like, I feel like I fully slipped in from the Berenstain and not Berenstain universe, right? The Berenstain thing is crazy because some people have put their full tinfoil hat on, the full ass, like, we're in it now, in a way that I'm like, I can't argue with that, where they say, like, those things like that have all been experiments to see how much they could change in actual, like, history and news in this tech age without people noticing. You okay?
Suddenly I'm not feeling the cotton candy anymore. Has it always been cotton candy with 2 T's, or is it just 1 T? Whoa. I can't. Okay. Real talk here. I have a deathly fear of actually secretly to myself, being schizophrenic. Or, like, so, and it's not that I'm saying that, like, I'm afraid of people with schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I don't personally want to have that.
Yeah.
That's just not something that I want for myself. But, like, so, like, when there's things that, like, is like, oh, actually, this is the reality that you're experiencing, and it's not this, I get real twitchy and real uncomfortable. And it's probably because I was gaslit for 13 years that, like, my brain is just like, you don't want.
The way I am with, like, board games where you have to, like, fake. Like, I can't play Werewolves or Battlestar Galactica or anything like that. Sam said Lena tried really hard to set a boundary there and you just fucking ignored it, Jeff. Minus 10 points.
We have a point system now. I love it.
I like that points have replaced cookies.
Yeah. Well, I still get cookies. You don't. You just get points taken away. I'm a good egg.
Justin Michael Playson says it's not a nickname, Jeffrey. It's my real name. Fair enough. Shiki says Bernstein versus Berenstain Bears bullshit makes me so angry. Mike says I'm dyslexic, so they both read the same. Vince says, in all fairness, I have to assume virtually no one does. No one does what?
Want schizophrenia, probably.
Oh, I'm guessing so. And then,
Maybe.
oh man, not BSG. Yeah, I had to, like, really sit with my feelings after Vince and I played a game of Battlestar Galactica in which he was a Cylon and pretended he was not the whole time. And
Is that why you don't like Among Us?
Yes.
Okay.
My brain cannot differentiate between play lying and real lying without it bringing me back into being triggered by just
being lied to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And having having super good pastor man who I'm super good pastor man. Just kidding. I'm actually a nightmare of a human being. Still your dad though. That experience is so baked in there that when people play games, they're like, haha, I'm a murderous robot. I'm like, fuck you! Get out of my house!
I'm so good at Among Us in a scary way. It's like a switch flips. I can't lie, but, like, the first time I played Among Us, I was able to, like, just sort of, like, set all of that aside and just be like, I'm gonna see how far, and, like, I was really good at it, and then it unraveled after that, where I was like, oh god, like, it's not gonna work a second time, and everybody knows I'm gonna lie, and, like, and then I just overthought it until it became impossible for me. I haven't played Among Us since like 2021.
Most people over the age of 9 are in that boat.
What?
Well, it was huge, and then it's died down, except
do people
for
still play it?
Elementary school kids do like crazy.
Really?
Yes.
Why don't you guys just go outside on the playground and lie to each other? Like, I don't understand.
That was the most grandpa statement I've ever heard.
But like,
back in my day,
why do you need like to be on an airship as little people, little astronauts? I don't know what they are. What are they?
Vince says, I normally got awful at bluffing too, but that was masterful bluffing, and it sucks because it caused harm. To be honest, you had so much grace that day considering how you were internally. I mean, I appreciate you saying that, but that's my own shit. Like, you were doing nothing wrong. It was... that is a thing that I should have known. I should have been in more therapy than I was at the time. I was like, I'm fine. This is fine. Everything's good.
Everything's fine. You're like that dog.
The
meme where he's sitting with his coffee.
Yeah.
And everything's on fire. That this is fine.
My gosh. Not to make every episode about Expedition 33.
Yeah.
But when I was in the Gestural Village, talking to all the silly Gestrals,
Mm-hmm.
which are basically the stand-ins for like something like Moogles or something in that game,
Yeah.
you go into one hut and it's on fire, and you just talk to the guy. He's like, "This is fine." That's all he says.
I don't like that, even if it is a reference.
It's great. Vince said, "Yeah, that game taught me my best lies were feigning incompetence." I don't know what to do with that information. Sam says, I grew up with people saying crowns instead of crayons. I just always assumed the Berenstein, whatever thing was people being lazy / not reading / more repetitive colloquialisms becoming the real name. I think that is the actual situation. I like the crazy theory of like, they're experimenting on us, but I think it's more... also, the Midwest accent, we turn every vowel sound into an so it's very hard conversationally to distinguish between E's and A's and U's, because they all sound...
cotton candy. I call it cotton. Cotton.
Yeah.
Cotton. No, cotton. Cotton candy. Cotton candy.
It's why we struggle so much with the word affect and effect, is because we say them
Effect.
both. We say them both as affect, but it's neither affect. That's not any of them. It's effect and affect.
Stop.
Sorry.
Can't you just contextually use context clues to figure out which one?
Yeah, but when you're writing, there's two specific ones.
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter.
In my head, I'm
but what
then...
Sam's proposing is that because we were saying Berenstein, and it was actually spelled Berenstain, we were saying it, not reading it. And then as adults, we're like, what the fuck? It's Steen, S-T-E-I-N. Couple that with the fact that it's like, there are a lot of names we see out there that are E-I-N. So like, there's not a lot of words we see that are A-I-N.
Oh.
And that's most likely what happened.
I get it.
Cotton equals cotton. Yeah.
Cotton.
Shiki said, OMG, Lena, I started drawing a This Is Fine frog emote. That's amazing.
I love
that so much. Mountain equals mountain. Yeah.
Mountain.
Yeah, we don't say
mountain. Mountain.
We say We use for like every vowel sound.
Mountain.
We say mountain.
Mountain. Okay.
Yeah. And
don't realize these things until we really think.
When national broadcasting started being a thing in radio, our accent was chosen as like the accent that was like the accent. And so a lot of regionalized accents have been papered over with our accent. So we watch things like movies and TVs and we're like, oh, they're talking normally. We don't even think about our accent because our accent was the one chosen to like...
Huh. Okay. I get that.
Yeah. Cotton implies bed out. Every Tuesday, we ask a very important question. with
Am I
Selena's
being
favorite
gaslit every day?
with Selena's favorite song intro. It is "Am I the Asshole?"
Wow, enjoy everyone. I'm gonna go throw away this piece of stale cotton.
Am I an asshole? Cannot be an asshole cause Reddit is telling me it's not so. And if it's one thing that we know, it's that Reddit's never wrong.
Yeah, this is Selena's favorite intro. And then now she's not here for me to read the start of it, which is always fun. I think I missed one more comment up there though. Oh, I missed a lot. Okay. Sam said I played Among Us once and absolutely hated it. Mike said Among Us tells you a lot about friend groups for sure. Shiki said this is making me think of my last ex and his best friend who got really aggressive with each other every time they played board games because one time they played Throw Burrito and one of them put a hole in the wall. The other was really mean about it. Many trust issues. There is a whole thing in our existence, like Vince came over to our house, and this is when I was with Kim, not Selena. This is before you, but like where the constant refrain in the house was like I would put the full Wiimote when I was using the Wiimote. I would put the whole like wrist tie thing on, and it's very outside my personality that I was, because it's like usually I'm the person that's like I don't need a seatbelt, I don't need this, and I was doing it and everyone else in the house was like, why would we ever do that? I was like, so you don't accidentally throw it? Like, no, it's stupid, but no one's gonna ever accidentally throw it. And Vince came over to our house and threw a Wiimote into our ceiling.
I love that. Sorry, I almost choked on M&M.
It was great. I feel like Luke PH is appropriate for the question posed here. What is Luke PH? I don't know what that means. I don't have that context. I'm sorry. All right.
Hold on.
Am I the asshole for telling my sister? Am I the asshole for telling my sister I won't be mad at? Or sorry, am I the asshole for telling my?
Look at Bugs. Oh, his tongue is still out.
Cute.
Oh my God, Pancake is licking him. I've never seen them do that.
Yeah, they're friends.
He looks like he's been changed forever. He's like, what just happened?
Am I the asshole for telling my sister I won't be her maid of honor because she didn't come to my wedding due to her dog dying?
Huh?
This is a throwaway, as friends know my name. So I, 28-year-old female, got married last year. It was a small but beautiful ceremony with her closest family and friends. My older sister, 32-year-old female, and I have always had a complicated relationship. We're close.
Jeff, can I borrow your phone? Real quick.
I guess.
Sorry, I need to take a picture of Bug. I realized that was like extremely out of topic, but I just...
Oh, I need to plug my phone in too.
You gotta delete all of your fake messages. I don't know why I said fake messages.
He moved right when you...
I'm just taking a picture of you. Let me take a picture.
Oh, Pyramid Head. Sorry, I just didn't read the PR as Pyramid Head. Am I the asshole? Yeah. Also learning fun new lore about Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 2 Remake, even after years of obsession lately. That's amazing. I fucking love that game so much. All right. Yes, he's very cute.
Showing you.
Am I the asshole for telling my sister I won't be her maid of honor because she didn't come to my wedding due to her dog dying? So I, 28-year-old female, got married last year. It was a small but beautiful ceremony with our closest family and friends. My older sister, 32-year-old female, and I have always had a complicated relationship. We're close, but she's also extremely emotional and kind of dramatic. She was supposed to be my maid of honor. 2 days before my wedding, her 14-year-old dog passed away unexpectedly. I was obviously sympathetic, but she called me sobbing, saying she couldn't emotionally handle coming to the wedding because she was too devastated. I tried to talk her down, even offered to have someone bring her home early if it was too much, but she refused and didn't show up. It hurt a lot. She missed one of the biggest days of my life, and I had no maid of honor. We didn't talk much after that. A few months ago, she got engaged, and just last week asked me to be her maid of honor. I told her I couldn't. I said I still felt hurt she missed my wedding, and while I love her, I just couldn't pretend like everything was fine. She got extremely upset and said I was being cold and petty, and that her dog was like her child. Our parents are pressuring me to just be the bigger person. I honestly don't know anymore. Am I the asshole for saying no?
Yeah. Because now you're missing out on two big parts of your lives because you want to somehow get her back for letting you down on your day, but like, so you're going to let her down on her day? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't think you're letting her down on her day. I think the reverse happened. Like, it's
her dog died.
Yeah, but you're maid of honor.
I don't know. As somebody who like struggles,
That's not like a small piece of it. That's like you're like third build on that show, basically. Like that's a big deal.
Yeah, as somebody who like kind of prioritizes like feeling over like societal expectation, I don't think that. I think that like there could have been a compromise, but like ultimately she was like, "Hey, I cannot do this." I don't think she wanted to not do it. I don't think she was like, "Yay, I get to stay home and like not go to my sister's wedding." Like, could you imagine? Like, no. I don't think. I don't think. I think that like, yes, it sucks that she did that, and like that's something that they should talk about. But I don't think that like her then being like, "I'm gonna do it back to you," is like constructive or helpful.
Vince says she said they have barely spoken since. Not wanting to be a maid of honor can also come from the emotional disconnection that has transpired after the first wedding. Yeah, I think it's more that. It's more like, I don't want to go and pretend like I'm not hurt by it. Like, we still haven't figured this out.
I would be like, just talk about it, or like be like, "Hey, I'm not interested unless we have some conversations first. We need to sit down and talk about how this made me feel."
Shiki says, "Sorry, a wedding doesn't outweigh the loss of a pet. If Luna died 2 days before my sister got married, I would not be able to, not only because of myself, but because I know I would embarrass her with how much I would be sobbing. Being emotional and happy about my sister's wedding would 100% make me sob about losing her. It isn't just about me." People always, I get that take, but like, if I have you, like, Shiki, if you were in my wedding and this, like, I would still want you to be a part. If you could, I would still want you to be a part of it, even if you're part of it is like,
you
like,
just want that person there.
Yeah,
you say that, but at the same time, there are people out there that like they will say, "I just want you there," but then at the same time, if you don't act the way that they want you to act, like, they'll get mad. And not even for weddings, like for
anything.
Yeah, it's like.
That is a solid point. Most people are not me.
There have been times where I have not been in a well enough space to be on the show, and you're like, "No, it's fine. Come on the show." And it's like, but then you don't get it. If I came on the show and I wasn't doing well, I'd be sitting there on my phone, like, disassociating, and that's not something that like is helpful to the show.
Yeah,
that's actually something that hurts the show.
It's so. Well, and yeah, it's the whole. I don't know how to unravel any of this anytime we talk about it, because it's like, if I'm as someone who's been best man now a number of times, if I'm best man in a wedding, the list of things that, like, I think if a pet died that day, I would probably be like,
they did die that day.
It was 2 days before.
It was 2 days before? I thought it was like the day before.
No, it was 2 days before.
Oh. That's still not enough time. As somebody who still breaks down and cries over their cat passing away recently,
it's fucking like, rough as all hell.
I'll just be sitting in the bathroom and just start crying. Like, it doesn't. 2 days is nothing.
Yeah, but that day's not about you. It's about your sister.
I understand that take. I understand that, like, that But again, at the same time, like, you have to discern whether or not your sister is somebody that actually wants you there, or like wants you there because she's relying on whatever. Not to say that like she put all the stuff on her sister as the maid of honor and then is like expecting her to do things, and then because she's not there, then she thinks her wedding's going to be less. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying, like, again, people say they want you to show up, but then if you're actually sad and you show it, like, then they're like, "What? Why are you sad?
It's my happy day." But
yeah, why are you crying? And it's like,
which like
just tell
part of
everybody
actually
you're crying because you're so happy your sister's getting married.
yeah,
I guess.
And part of being part of like actually loving people in a familial type way is like loving the mess and like wanting the mess around, and then years later being like, "Oh, that was such a brutal day. Thank you so much for being there." You know, like,
yeah, I get it, and it's like, I don't think that like the sister that's the maid of honor is gonna look back on this and feel necessarily like, I don't know, like, she might be like, "Yeah, I made the right call there," or she might be like, "Dang, I wish I would have been in the wedding," whatever. But then for her sister, I think the thing that's important to focus on is the like, it feels like she's doing this as a, I'm getting back at you. I want you to know how it feels.
I disagree.
That's what it feels like.
No, that would be saying yes, and then
it says, "Am I the asshole for telling my sister I won't be her maid of honor because she didn't come to my wedding due to her dog dying?"
Right.
It says it right in the title.
But and she's saying that her sister said she's being cold and petty. Being cold and petty would be saying, "Yes, I will be your maid of honor," and then 2 days before being like, "Actually, sorry, I'm not going to be showing up." That would be the cold and petty and making her feel what it feels like.
Yeah.
That would be the shit. That's the asshole move. Like, that person's an asshole.
I think that, like...
But saying no to, like...
I do think her reasoning is mostly grounded in how her sister made her feel and how she wants her sister to feel that same way.
Vince says, okay, a bunch of things. Vince says her being mad about the maid of honor not showing up is dumb, no argument, but her not wanting to be maid of honor makes less sense if she is... Makes sense if she has been emotionally distanced. The loss of a pet should be accepted as the loss of a loved one. I agree with that. For sure. Shiggy said, "I wouldn't be able to hold myself together well enough to give her 100% of my attention. I wouldn't be able to troubleshoot problems. I wouldn't be able to support her properly. Would you want your biggest day to be about managing my emotions?" Vince says one shouldn't have to perform while in grief. OP's emotional reaction is badly based. OP has distance since, and other party probably didn't realize they had distance. It really sucks that this is how the other party found out. Sam says, "I think it's petty as fuck personally. You didn't come to mine, so I'm not coming to yours," is a lame take.
Yeah. It's like if they have a conversation and her sister sits her down and is like, "Hey, I do not feel comfortable coming to your wedding as your maid of honor because, like," it just feels like she's boiling it down to, like, that she let her down.
Yeah, well, that sounds like they probably have never talked this out, and like really, which happens in families a lot, where they're just like, "I had hurt feelings, but I'm going to bury them down," and everyone expects everything to like move on. Shigi says, "I disagree. You're saying you won't do something because someone didn't do something is petty. It's not based on the relationship. It's based on, I want you to feel how I felt. I understand being upset, and I understand feeling that your wedding is important enough for her to come. But being an adult is realizing you're not the main character of the universe." I mean, I agree with that, with the one exception, possibly, that the closest thing to a main character in the universe ever is a bride on her wedding day. That is like maybe the only... The amount of shit that women get put through, it is the one day they get where they get to like feel like a princess. They think about it.
Right, and her sister wants to feel like a princess after her dog died months ago.
Yeah.
So...
I'm not saying... I would probably say yes in this situation if I was a sister.
Fair.
Because
I've been the person in this situation. I I've been the friend that bailed on something because of something extremely tragic and traumatic happening in my life. What? Why are we so sad? What's the matter, honey? Have you too. I had a friend who wanted me to go to her cousin's graduation. I kind of knew her cousin, and this is like not her wedding either. So this is like, these are two completely different things,
Yeah.
but the reaction was the same. It was like, she wanted me to go to her cousin's graduation, like high school graduation. I didn't know her cousin very well. I'd hung out with her a couple of times, and like I hung out at her aunt's house a couple of times, and like I knew them and they were nice people, but like I didn't know them. And it was like a day that like my ex was being insane, and like I had told her before that, I was like, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to go. Hi.
She's really like, hi, Mom.
I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to be able to go. Also, it was like I was starting to drive for the first time, and like it was like at a place that was far away.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's like multiple variables. And I told her up front, like, I don't know, but like I will keep you in the loop, whatever. And then the day before, I was like, I think I'll be able to go. What's the address? And then literally the day of, like, my ex, like, got absolutely drunk and, like, attacked our neighbor, and, like, the cops got called, and, like, so I'm, like, standing here filing a police report, and my friend is texting me, like, hey, where are you? Hey, where are you? Hey, like...
Were you there right, or were you...
No.
Okay.
I was meeting them there in my car.
I would say that one is overblown in a very different
And they're
situation.
like, hey, where are you? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm here filing a police report. Like, I don't know that I have the spoons in me to go. And also, again, I didn't know many of the people there. Like, it was not my party.
Yeah.
That made sense for me to be there in the first place. Like, and it's like, it came out later that, like, she wanted me there because she didn't really like the people there either. And, like, she just wanted to, like, have somebody.
Person, yeah.
Yeah, she wanted a support person, which, like, I understand that. But she then, like, lashed out at me. We didn't talk for, like, a year after that. And, like, I'm sure there were other variables, but like as the person in the situation where like somebody is upset with you for not coming through for them.
Right, but if you present that same scenario and it's your sister's wedding, you'd be telling the cops like, is there any way we can do this later? I have to go. It's literally my sister's wedding today. I have to go. And the cops would be like, oh shit, yeah, no, get out of here. It's like, I don't know. There's just so few days that in this capitalistic nightmare that we live in, there's so few days that we get that are like truly like about where we get a chance to truly like make people feel any level of special.
No, I fully agree with what you're saying on that front. I agree that like I think that it should be important for her sister to be like, hey, I want to be there for you on your day, and like, yes, my dog died, and like that is horrible and tragic and sad, and like
here are my boundaries. I
like,
I have to.
I understand that, and I understand what you're saying.
What Shiki said, like, I'm not problem solving. I'm not doing this.
Her sister though is then being like, is doing the same thing to her, and her dog didn't even die. Like, the only thing that's causing her to act this way is because she was hurt that way. I think it's like because it seems like she's being petty. I don't know. Like that's just the vibe I get from it.
The difference is like this is happening with plenty of time to find a different maid of honor, though. Like you can.
But why would you want to? I don't understand why you would make. Why you know what that feels like, right? Like because her sister let her down, whether her dog died or not. Like she felt let down, right?
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that to your sister?
Oh, the people are big on like you should be able to always say no to being best man or maid of honor. I'm someone that's like I think the only correct response to that question is always I'm honored. Like sounds great. What do you need from me? Because it's like if they're asking you, there's a reason they're asking you, and you don't want to push someone further down that list. You know, it's like weddings, 1,000 things go wrong, and it's okay though to say like, yes, here are my boundaries though. I would love to be your I've had to say this before, where like I would love to be. I can't plan this. I'm not planning a bachelor party. I love you, but like I just don't have the spoons. It would land here or here, and just there's no bandwidth for that. So someone else is going to have to do that bit that would normally fall on me. Or yes, I can do that, but like I can come, I can do a speech, I can go, but I can't do these things. And it's okay to say all those things. And I wanted to say that, like, yeah, I think you should probably say yes to being the maid of honor in your sister's wedding, no matter what she's done to you. I just,
unless it's like heinous, terrible thing.
unless it's like heinous abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like the only way to live a healthy life is to whatever. It's like part of being family is accepting the mess of each other and like.
Yeah. So accept that your sister was a mess.
Yeah.
Missed your wedding.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, and she's not doing that. She's being.
She is not doing that.
She's trying to be like, hey, you made me feel like this.
But they need to sit and have a conversation about their feelings.
Exactly.
It's the biggest thing. It's like everything else we talk about on the show. It comes down to communication. Like,
I do think that her rooting this and like, I want her to get back at her kind of makes her a bit of an asshole. But also just the like, she's dramatic. It's like, bro, that was her dog of 14 years. Like,
I mean, this breaks out in people feel things in different ways and have
I'm sure
abilities
so
for
many
feeling.
people think I'm dramatic, and at this point in my life, I just don't care. I'm just like, okay, sorry you can't feel. This sounds like a really sad existence, I guess.
But we have kids that are varying, that think the other kids are of our set of three. There are some that would have these exact same responses in all of this. You know, like where I feel this kid is dramatic because they had the feelings and their feelings affected what they did on that day.
Sure, but those are kids, not adults.
I know, but I as an adult really struggle when people have feelings affect what they do on any given day. Still, at 38 years in, I can't wrap my head around that, and it's never been a thing that, and it's something I've just had to learn to accept, that is just how some people go about the universe.
Yeah, it's like therapy helps, I'm sure, like.
Right, but like I also like a big part of my therapy was.
Oh no, I meant for the people that operate like. As much as I'm like, I'm dramatic and I don't care, like there are things where I'd be like, okay, I should probably like seek a different coping skill.
Yeah.
Here versus, because I'm also in the camp of like, oh well, the world isn't going to revolve this way.
Sam says it's true. It fucks Jeff up when I have big feels. It throws his entire day off.
You and me both, Sam.
Sam said that started as a joke, but when I make community announcements, Jeff does always think it's because he did something 100%. I'm like,
you think that everything, anytime anybody has like some kind of thing, you're like, oh god, I did something, didn't I? And it's like, it's okay. Sometimes.
Well, because I grew up being our middle kid that was like, you ate the fucking yogurt? Like, that's...
Oh, God.
That's... So now
So what you're telling me is I have to not be like, you ate the yogurt, otherwise our middle kid is going to grow up to think that every time time anyone does something...
They're going to be that way anyways. So that's... you're one pebble in the massive quarry.
I don't want to be a pebble, though. I want to be a beautiful... shining stone in their collection of. I don't want to be like the reason why they feel that way. Now I feel bad. No.
Shiki says, Jeff, what did we say about being an adult? I'm working on it. I'm growing. I'm getting. Hopefully, you've at least seen growth even in a year of knowing me, because that's the goal, is like to constantly just be growing and
I've
evolving.
backpedaled, and I know that. I used to be able to drive 45 minutes away for my big girl job, and now I can't drive in a car by myself or go to the store by myself.
Shiki said there's been both. Sam says, I'm like, hey guys, we should do better about XYZ. And shortly after I get a DM like, hey man, I read the announcement. I think that's all solid ideas. Did I do something to have anything to do with this announcement?
Aw. At least you're like, I want to make sure that like my behavior hasn't affected anyone negatively.
Well, I've also learned in 38 years of life, what I used to do is I would just be like, that's about me. It just like take that as factual information and start moving about the universe with it. And I've learned to just like, well, I should at least ask before
What would you do when you assumed it was about you? Would you then operate differently?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd either distance myself or like, and then that person would start reacting to me distancing.
Come here.
And then it's a whole weird cycle.
Okay. Bye, Pancake.
Am I the asshole for refusing to cover my tattoos for my boyfriend's family dinner?
Nope. Move on. Next question. You don't even have to read this one.
I'm a 21-year-old female, a girl who has several tattoos, some big and quite visible. My boyfriend, 26-year-old male, met me like that, and I hadn't had any problem with it. He invited me to go to dinner with his family, and I accepted, but he casually mentioned, maybe you could wear something with sleeves, just so we don't start any drama. I asked what he meant, and he said his grandparents are very old school and might not react well to my tattoos. He said he didn't want the night to be awkward.
Well, if they make it awkward, that's on them, isn't it?
I told him I wasn't going to hide part of myself to make his family more comfortable. He said, it's not about hiding, it's about respect. I told him respect goes both ways, and I shouldn't have to pretend to be someone I'm not.
Respect goes both ways, like this door that I'm walking out of. Goodbye.
Shiki said these are open and shut cases today.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. He said he didn't want the night to be awkward. I told him I wasn't going to hide parts of myself to make his family more comfortable. He said it's not...
my God, I am so petty. I would just get a whole new tattoo or a whole new piercing that day.
Yeah.
Like, literally that day, I'd be like, let's go to the piercing shop. Chop.
Wearing just like a sleeveless shirt.
Yep.
Like all the way.
Tank top.
Yep.
I'd go dye my hair too, probably. I'm just the level of petty that like I am is for stuff like that. Like I don't see petty in the other category as like valid, but when I'm like, I don't think people should judge based on piercings and tattoos. I think that's such a silly thing.
And I think it's such a silly and crazy thing to hide something that like is that like what at some point grandma's gonna learn there's tattoos. Like what are you what is it better?
Y'all are gonna go to the beach and he's gonna make you wear one of those like surfer like wetsuits or whatever they're called.
That's the thing is like grandma's gonna find out at some point. Is it better for her to find out later to find out that she's been like lied to this whole time, or for her to have whatever silly 1930s reaction she's gonna have to it now and then like move the fuck on?
Pancake keeps trying to lay on that and it keeps like slowly breaking and she's just like, I don't know what to do. There you go. You kind of figured it out.
Vince said about respect, fuck this guy. Respect my grandparents so I can respect you less. Yeah, this is insane. Also, I just... There is an epidemic of men. An epidemic of men.
An epidemic.
Who are attracted to a woman because of insert whatever variable here, XYZ. And then once they get her...
They want to water it down.
They want to water it down and get rid of it.
Down.
And it's insane to me.
It's quite insane. Batshit, one might say. Crazy.
We call this the Jonah Hill delusion.
The Jonah Hill delusion. That's great.
In which you're like, oh, you know, I fucking love this woman. She like streams and like has all these guys in her chat streaming, and like I'm one of the guys in her chat, and I get to be the guy who.
You were still talking about Jonah Hill, and I was like, wait, his ex-girlfriend streamed? I thought she surfed.
No, well, she surfed, and then he tried to shut down the surfing after.
Different examples. I understand now. I was confused. Go ahead.
Yeah, like Oh, it's so amazing. Oh, my girlfriend's in a band, and it's so great. Like, look at her up there singing. She's so awesome.
10 out of 10.
Look
Great.
at my girlfriend with tattoos. Like, it's so awesome how confident she is with all those tattoos, and like how she really just owns more of an ocean than a stream. But these men will like be attracted to a woman in the first place because of who they are and what they're doing, and then the second that they're like quote unquote officially dating, will be like, what if we
stop surfing?
what if we hid that? What if we shut all that down?
And that thing that when I met you, I was doing, and you were like, "That's so cool and awesome that I'm doing that."
Sam
Cool.
says, who streams? We were talking about men and how shitty they are, and Jonah Hill, who you don't know who that is, he was a movie star of some note.
He was in Wolf of Wall Street. That's
Sure
just what
was.
I watched him in recently.
And he was a movie star.
Sam said, "I know who that is."
Oh, okay.
I like how you're like, "You don't know who that is."
Sam,
You didn't even ask. You were just like,
He-
"I don't know."
he usually doesn't. Okay, so yesterday,
I wish I lived in a world where I don't know who celebrities are. That sounds
Yesterday,
like a nice world. Specifically, celebrities
Sam,
like Jonah.
Sam
Hill.
was on a big boss in Final Fantasy Tactics. That's like
Okay.
a big like, oh my god, and it's like a one-on-one fight, and it's like it's apparently really hard. It's like what a lot of people get stuck on, right? And so Sam, for an hour of stream, just walked around casting buffing spells, just running away from the guy and casting for like an hour.
Okay.
Took a break, came back, did it a little bit more, and was like, okay, finally about to do the fight. Went up,
Yeah.
did the fight, killed him in one hit. To which I wrote Final Fantasy Tantric, and I was like dying laughing. Sam didn't get it, and I
don't get it.
It's the tantric sex thing.
Huh?
The tantric sex is like
You saying it 5 more times is
Okay,
not going
I
to make me
understand.
get it, bud.
Okay. It's this thing called tantric sex that supposedly is a thing that like the dude from the Police, Sting, was like apparently all about it. That's when like it became part of popular culture. People are like, what the fuck does Sting do? Where like you spend like your whole life and your whole
Who's
thing.
Sting?
The guy from the Police.
I have a vague idea.
So
of
put
who-
on the red light. That
Yeah,
guy.
I don't. Okay, sure.
Roxanne. Okay. So that guy.
You mean the guy from Moulin Rouge?
Sure.
That's where that song came from.
So that guy said it, and
originally.
it became a go-to joke in popular culture for a while because of this idea of just like supposedly he was spending his whole life not orgasming but thinking about the like preparing for the orgasm, and
that
then
sounds scary.
correct, but like for weeks and weeks, and then you actually have sex and you've like spent
That's
all that
just
time
edging.
preparing. Sure, okay.
That's not what
That is the more modern vernacular for it. Sure, but like they're
tantricking or edging, because edging would be the more modern one.
I said edging was the
Okay.
more modern one. So
God.
But tantric fits in with Final Fantasy Tactics really funnily, and so I said,
Sam said that's just good. I mean, okay.
Vince said, "Man, I got distracted and came back to tantric fucking contextless moment number 2 for this thing." SXX tantric. So when Sam spent an hour prepping, and
To fight the boss.
one hit, it's done.
Yeah.
And it's
you
just
made
this
the-
massive hit.
Okay.
And so I said Final Fantasy Tantric because it made me laugh a lot. And I was like, ha ha ha. And then Sam didn't get it. And I was like, okay, how can I concisely explain this joke?
Man, your whole life is just concisely explaining things to me and Sam.
It really is. And so I've then trying to explain. And I'm like, okay, well, the dude, Sting. And I was like, and then my first thought is like, will he think when I'm talking about Sting that I'm talking about the wrestler or the singer? And then I was like, Sam's gonna think I'm talking about the sword and the Hobbit, and I was like, okay, that doesn't work. So it's like the guy from the Police, and I had like copied.
The guy from the police? Like police officers?
Well, and then I had like copied and pasted so many different versions of like trying to make it make sense in a way that would work for Sam's brain. And then what I sent was this gobbledygook of like didn't make sense to anybody trying to explain the joke. and then people that didn't see the joke the first time just thought that was my version of telling the joke, and I was like, no, I told it in 3 words. It was funny up there, scrolled up in the chat.
Oh my god. I'm so mad I missed that. Where was I?
It was right after stream yesterday. You were over doing whatever you were doing.
I don't even remember what I was doing. Oh my god.
Soggy says, OMG, Lena, I'm wearing my bandit onesie.
Really? Oh my god. That's awesome.
I'm
surprised. I need to get a bluey like onesie or kigurumi. That's something that I'm surprised I do not own yet.
Sam said I actually thought of this more.
I love that.
My favorite version of joke in Sam streams is, and I did this one Sunday, is when I tell a joke that I know Sam is not going to get, but then Shiki's going to explain it to him, but that Shiki's not going to read, but Shiki's going to read Sam going like, he's going to read the joke and go, I don't know what that means, and that's going to make Shiki laugh harder than if she would have read it herself. And it's like, the amount of chess those jokes take, it's like, I'm just so proud when I pull it off. It's amazing. And yes, we were talking about Final Fantasy Tantric. Yes, Sagi said, okay, Jeff, I get your jokks. Shiki said,
someone in this world has to, because I don't.
It's just Shiki. Shiki and I share a brain. It's fine. The 1 out of a million times that Shiki or I don't get each other's jokes, it's like, oh, what's going on?
What's wrong with the world? Something's afoot.
Shiki said, and me in the background laughing and trying to help. Yeah, I appreciate you. Sagi said, it's incredibly impractical, but amazingly fun.
Oh my gosh, do you guys want to see something really impractical, but like amazing?
Absolutely.
Hold on. Oh, okay. How are you? I don't think our child knows that I have a matching one, because I've had it sitting in my shelf. And like...
Jeff missed the celebrity bit. He didn't scroll enough.
No.
Oh, I also missed Shiki saying, I don't know what it says about me and Jeff when we're the only ones in the room that knows what tantric sex is.
How do I get in this? I forgot.
Oh, you're a shark onesie.
Yeah, it's fun, but impractical. Because...
Oh, Sam said Jeff is usually right about me not knowing names. I was lying. I have no idea who this is. The reaction was great.
I'm gonna be honest. When you said Sting, first person who popped into my head was Slash.
Was Slash?
Yeah.
You thought Slash was Sting?
That's not who that is, but my brain. Sorry, hold on. Anyway.
Shiki said, I was so sad to hear that's how Jonah Hill was, because I always related to the underlong punching bag persona thing. Like, he had friends, and they always picked on him and all this, but then he got skinnier, and the shitbagness came out. My theory has always been that, like, he got the green light to be Academy Award-seeking person, and Seth Rogen didn't, and the world is better for it, and we should have said no to Jonah Hill, too.
This thing has, like, little pockets for your hands to come out.
Yeah.
So, like, you can do whatever, like, eat and sew or whatever you have. It doesn't have bits for your feet, though.
It doesn't have feet pockets?
When I'm, like, running around the house, I have to, like, shuffle. I have to shuffle my feet. It's really hot in here. Oh, my God.
Sam said, same, Lena. My brain also autofilled Slash, and I was like, wait, no, that's Guns N' Roses.
That makes me happy.
I
gotta take this off. It's really hot in here. It's not summertime attire. Or at least summertime attire when the AC is not on.
Sam was waiting to leave until I read it all. I love it. By the way, reminder, while everyone's here, we probably won't have one of these shows on Friday. This is our biggest week, and we won't be doing any video game streams this week. So the next show will be on...
Bye, Sam. Have a good day.
Bye, Sam. Have a wonderful day. The next one of these will be Thursday morning, and that'll probably be the last one for the week.
Unless we magically get everything done by Friday.
So Thursday will be the last one for the week, because that we also, for more helping hands, we have people staying here, which means that like I have to be a good partner and make sure I'm making time for doing cleaning things so that I'm not stressing my partner out.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's awfully kind of ya.
Yeah.
I tried to say that in a southern accent, and it didn't come out that way at all.
And our main bandwidth for cleaning is going to be Thursday night. So
I love it when we clean a day before people come over. That's so great and not stressful at all. She's clawing at the door again. Our cat,
she
Pancake,
hates that door being closed.
wants the door to be open. She wants to be able to move freely. And but she doesn't want it shut when she's in here either. Oh my god, Pancake.
She says, Jeff, I need you to tell Lena that Roxanne did not come from Moulin Rouge.
Oh, I know.
I think she knows that information.
I was just trying to jab at Jeff because it's...
Yeah, she was just trying to get to prick my brain. Yeah, Mike says, I hate that clean you have to do when people come over and you got to make the house look like nobody lives there. Well, this is an interesting...
we don't do that.
This is an interesting one because...
We make it so that there's not, like, soggy cocoa pebbles all over the floor.
Yeah.
Or, like, I don't know, that's the first thing I could think of is, like... Or, like... onion skin?
I don't know.
I don't know, like, just random things around the floor.
It's just a thing of, like, it's... Emmanuel's coming in Emmanuel's family, but we've not met Emmanuel's boyfriend yet. So... it's one of those things.
Yeah,
too.
if it was just Emmanuel, our house would just be trash still, because we know they don't care.
Yeah, and they would be like,
cool.
They would be like, I feel so comfy in this house and not stressed out and sad.
The thing is, though, is that I also do it somewhat for myself, because then I can focus on, like, the people around me, and not the fact that, like, there's 7,000 things just laying about.
She says they make it look like it's not a college dorm. Yeah, exactly. And I was just making sure the Roxanne thing. I appreciate it. There's our links to YouTube and Whatnot. On Whatnot, you get $15 free to buy from us, but you can also spend it somewhere else, and we still get a kickback when you spend that money somewhere else.
Nice.
If you want to follow that Whatnot link, though, we're live there most Saturdays, 8 to 10. We will not be this week because we will be dying post Free Comic Book Day.
Or we'll be energized.
Do you ship to the UK? I definitely used to via eBay, and I used to via my own store, especially because my tastes tend to line up with the UK better than American taste, and so a lot of our exclusives sold like hotcakes over there, but not here in America. But I don't know how to enable that or not enable that through Whatnot yet, and I'm guessing things are trickier these days with tariffs and whatnot. So, but I will look into that. But if you follow that link, you can still hang out for the shows, and we can what you can do is for the show part of it, you can turn on local pickup, and then
I found another use. For
we can figure out the shipping after the fact. What?
You can pet cats.
You can pet cats with the fin openings? Yeah. Yes. It's very nice. Okay. We have raid messages. They look like this. And this. And one of them is for sub emotes. One of them is for not sub emotes. And we love you either way. Thanks so much for hanging out for this. We're going to go bug Samuel. Presuming he's gotten his feet up, he has.
Why are you glaring at me?
This is where we say, be honest, be kind. Congrats, Soggy, on going over there and getting first already. Be honest, be kind, be useful, live a good fucking life. We love you all.
We'll see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow.
Thursday morning.
Thursday.
Yeah, we will be off tomorrow because of New Comic Day.
Yes.
And then we'll be off Friday because of Free Comic Book Day. Because comic books rule our lives.
It does.
Bye, friends.